Early Bird number 2676. I'm your host, Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, follow me on Rumble and Beer when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. Please also do support me through the gift card, PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are on the description box below. Send me a super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can really use it. Please support your local Arwin, that would be great. Right. So, yeah, weather today is still hot, but I mean, it compared to yesterday, it's not so murderously hot. It's just regular hot. No, it's back under the 30s, thank God. I mean, it was really freaking hot yesterday, just crazy. But hey, it happens. It's not the first time in my lifetime. Yeah, there's more clouds. Not sure if it has any relations to trails or anything. Not necessarily. Whatever put them there, I'm glad to have like a little bit of dampening on the sun. As far as I'm concerned, a nice cold rainstorm would be great at some point. And yeah, the temperature is it's just better. I mean, it's still freaking hot. It's just not dangerously hot anymore. So, because yesterday it was like seriously, like it was so freaking hot. Like I even was like, okay, I'm not even gonna like replace the water because first off, the birds aren't even coming for it anymore because it's just too hot on the roof. And literally, I feel like if I go there and I like faint from acute heat stroke, I could literally die. Not by falling off the roof, but by falling onto it and then literally fainting and then just cooking like a freaking slice of bacon on the roof or something. Like, yeah, it was really psycho hot. And unrelenting at night too, man. I mean, it's been a rough sleep this night. I've not slept great. I mean, mentally I rested, but just physically, my muscles just starting to feel exhausted. Not because, oh, it's so strenuous, but just because the metabolic functions and blood flow and all that is just all completely in disarray because of that severe heat yesterday. And hey, I did not have a fan. I had my foot bath. I mean, God forbid not being able to have a foot bath in those conditions, man. Dude, I could have been hospitalized. Not that I ever would do that. I'd rather risk death. I mean, unless it's like falling down on something and cutting your arm open, whatever. But like, it was so hot. I'm just glad I had the foot bath, which I used all day long, and before the show also I just took a basic cold shower just to get the sticky night off me. Yuck. Gross. And even I tried to sleep on the couch downstairs, and even that was uncomfortable. It was just ugh. Anyway, temperature's a bit better now. I don't continuously feel like sweat is pouring from my temples. I mean, sometimes I feel like there's just two taps here, like I'm actually the exit of a water faucet, and there's just two taps here that just go reek reek and it just keeps coming. Like, what the fuck, man? Ugh. Right, but it seems like the worst heat for now is over. Anyway, let's actually check that officially. First, it's Saturday, the 27th of June, 2026. It's kind of funny that wow. Yeah, it was a 666 day. I mean, I hadn't even noticed that. It was yesterday was Friday the 26th on 2026. And I think also because my show was 26, well, it was 2675. Man, I should have not skipped the show because it would have been hilarious if it was 26 76 yesterday. Just the number of sixes be off the charts. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. But it was really freaking hot yesterday. Let's check out what it is. The forecast is now. Yeah, it's 29. I don't like it. I want it colder. But hey, whatever. It's better than 36 to 38. And it says maybe a drop of rain. Anyway, it's 29 degrees Celsius, 61% humidity, which is high for that heat. 11 kilometers an hour wind. Wish it was more, but sometimes it is like really blowing. It's very nice. Standing outside, cooling off from it. But I mean, even the wind it's not cold. It's a warm wind, not hot, but warm. So you don't really cool off from it. Right, and 7% precipitation. Forecast tomorrow 29, then Monday 26, Tuesday 23, and then it kind of stays there until the next weekend. Kind of looking forward to that. I really hope it's not going to be so hot. Also, because my freaking eye, like, it's not helping. I think it's probably going to stay like this until the heat goes down. And it has like a chance to just clear it out. It's annoying. And I mean, I feel it a little that it's there, but I mean, it looks really ridiculous. It looks dramatic. It's a typical thing though. I've seen plenty of like white guys too having issues like that exactly throughout my lifetime. Like it happens, especially with this kind of heat. It can very typically happen. You have to be careful. Minimize the amount of rubbing that you do in it because it's just probably gonna keep it up, etc., etc. It's just a new little nuisance. Just typical ailment. It'll go away. I mean, it's better than going like through your back or something. God, could you imagine having slipped or something and gone through your back and you're all fucked with this heat? Man, that I would freaking hallucinate. But that's not happening, thank God. Right. I haven't had a lot of back issues in any way. Yeah, so let's keep it that way. Right. Yeah, I'm using my water bottle, and there was some lemonade stuff, old lemonade stuff. I actually have it there for like 5 years or something, out in the open in the heat. But I mean, that stuff never spoils, like never. It's like kind of exotic, and it's like interesting. It's like this little bit spicy, but not because there's chili pepper in it or something, but it's just naturally spicy because of the exotic stuff that's in there. And it is really refreshing, even when it's kind of lukewarm. Alright. So I hope everybody's is having a great weekend. There's a whole bunch of parties also breaking out yesterday night out there. I mean, with the heat, it's not surprising because it's like it's too warm to sleep, so people are just gonna like party. Right, what did I talk about yesterday? Oh yeah, Palm Beach Pete. Like, what the fuck? He was back again today over at Harrison Smith's, the War Room. Like, is he gonna be a regular now? This is really weird. Yeah, I liked the whole notion of Tartarian reparations. It's a little bit SJW thinking, but I mean, seriously, just these people, everybody's attempted to even forget that they exist. That I just feel the grievance about it. Alright, let's see what else is going on out there. I don't know if I'm gonna do a very focused show today. Yeah. There's some information, more detail, basically confessions coming out. How the replacement migration people have been, well, basically bought, bribed, lured into the West by the United Nations. Yeah, this apparently, yes, somebody. American influencer Nick Shirley, whatever. There's tons of evidence of this. It's just these guys go out on the street and they talk to people, and it's popular apparently. But yeah, the migrants themselves, not all of them are complete savages. They're just like basically taking a business deal. But they literally get sent into Europe by the United Nations. Like, the United Nations has taken upon itself to organize the repopulation of Europe and the United States. Okay, I think there should be some very, very serious scrutiny of the United Nations at this point. Maybe a worldwide total boycott, perhaps. Just an idea. Maybe a hey, United Nations, if you don't stop doing that very specifically and, quite frankly, arrest those that are involved and deliver them to us, then we shut the entire United Nations down. Like everything. How about that? Right? It's pretty sure it's the West that pays for it the most of it, and that created it. I mean, I'm sure other nations are getting involved too, but it's like, yeah, this is a ridiculous thing. Yeah, we're not gonna be recolonized like that. That's fucking madness. Yeah? And if we wanna have tons of people to replace us, because we have no other choice, well then let it be our choice, so that we can invite the people that we want to invite. And give them fair and strict rules and guidelines. Not this kind of like hostile takeover. It's so corrupt. It's evil. And this is just extremely shameful of the United Nations that they are literally a part of it. It's not the only thing too. I mean, the United Nations is caught in all kinds of scandals, like human trafficking scandals, like sexual tourism, horrible kind of abuse, organized United Nations, like all kinds of scandals, all kinds of crimes. But I mean, this is just one of the most evil things. I don't. Have they even done anything like this anywhere in the third world? That would be evil enough as it is to just like say, oh, well, they have these kinds of populations here. Okay, let's completely overrun them. We're just gonna organize them to be completely overrun. We just kill all the locals. There's barely anybody there anyway, and we just colonize this land with the people we send in. Have they done that? I've never heard of that. They seem to just be doing that here now with Europe and the US, but really mostly Europe. I mean, this is insanity. How can you call the United Nations a peaceful organization now? Or especially saying peacekeeping. That is the most asinine now, because you don't keep peace by sending in people to replace everybody that aren't gonna adapt to their culture, and then give them tons of money while the locals actually suffer. I mean, this is a recipe for cataclysm. It's literally impossible to do that and have everything will be peaceful in mind. Like, that's impossible. There's no way to reason that out, that it could lead to that. It is anything but peaceful. It's just evil. And it creates friction, and it's just sickening. It has to stop. It's insane. It will disrupt diversity. It will slash and cut down on tolerance. It will create xenophobia. It will make, the West a lot harsher. That what you wanted? You soften us up for so long, and then it's just like, okay, quickly kill them. They're all softened up. Like, are you softening us all up every time over the generations just so you could kill us? And we don't resist? Is that what you're doing? Are we getting indoctrinated with liberal culture and you just keep moving the edge. Are you just doing it just to get us to the point where you can exterminate us? Is that the reason why you do that? It really feels like it. Damn it. Yeah, I need a little bit of salt to hold on to the humidity. A little bit of salt is actually very helpful. Man, I have to be careful with the coffee though. It does taste really nice. But yeah, let's just give this a go. Yeah, that is refreshing. Right, so yeah. Let's check out some really nice set of redheads. Hail the redheads. I mean, I kind of like these clips. Not all of them, but I mean, there's some real cuties out there, and like it's not just all the same frickin' models or whatever. It's just like all kinds of looks. Like there's a great variety in how they look. Let's play this. The music too. Come on. God, I'm melting again. Might have been the ladies. Might have also been the coffee. Oh yeah, man, there's some crazy shit going. Like I had no idea. So a while back there was like this island. Was it Papua, they were all waving Dutch flags and orange and all that, and they were like, yay, we like the Netherlands. Okay. It was kind of interesting. But now that's also in Indonesia. Like, I did not freaking expect that at all. Check it out. It's pretty extreme. Like, bro, they're going nuts with it. Yeah, this is not America, this is not the Netherlands, this is in Indonesia. Former colony. And hey, I am partially Indonesian. I just did not expect this to see this. It was very entertaining. And like duly noted. Well, what does that say? Oh. Orange. We're all a big orange family. Okay. I mean, I appreciate it. It's just the king kind of sucks, you know? So this better not be some freaking fealty to the king. That would be really fucking stupid. Because that same king is currently like, well, playing with the game to literally have us replaced here. Okay? Like, what kind of people are gonna support a king that literally like kills their own, like is trying to exterminate their own core people? Like, what kind of a king is that? Right? No matter what he does outside of that, it's not even relevant. Like, what good is a king that basically does the exact opposite with the one primary reason their function even exists, which is to lead and protect the core people, the people that made him king. Yeah? What, you're gonna go with a king like that when they're like openly conspiring to exterminate us? Basically? So this better, it's probably just about the Dutch culture. I mean, Dutch culture is very much appreciated around the world, I think. I mean, we always get shamed to hell by all the fucking Marxists here and Jews. Yeah. But I mean, the black people, they know, man. And Indonesia. They know. It's like, yeah, but they just know Dutch people. They know what Dutch people are like. They know how nice we are in principle. It's not just like, oh, they're just so naturally nice. Not necessarily. It's just we're nice in principle because it's the Dutch thing to do. Like, we represent. And we follow, whether they even realize it or not, they just try to be Christ-like. Peaceful. Like, being empathetic. Being reasonable, right? Trying to create win-win situations. Like, that's actually a really Dutch thing. That's what the Hollanders in the early days became so famous for. Like, the world traders, it was all Hollanders. From the like a big international company, basically founded in the western provinces of the Netherlands. Holland, North and South Holland. Hollanders, like, we laid the frickin' foundation for the West India Company, and yeah, it got fucked. When we were at it, did great. Yeah, maybe a bit of slavery, but hey, as the video that I played earlier, like they were literally trying to sell it to us. We're actually just kind of accommodating the Africans. They were like, we need to sell these slaves. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to sell those slaves then for you on the international market because we're Dutch and that's what we do. If there's an offer, we're gonna try to do something with it, right? It's not like, oh yeah, we need all of them. No, we weren't eager. It's just there was a market for it, and we could do it. Dutch would basically trade anything, as long as Christ would permit it. In our views. But yeah, we did great. We made good relations around the world. It's very few encounters where things went really wrong. Very few. Yeah, I mean the other colonizers, Spain, Portugal, right? They went around. They did not always have those great encounters, yeah? For any of the peoples out there in the world, if you saw the three stripes, yeah, or yeah, the original Dutch flag, those colors, like that's a good sign because pretty much all the others, like they could very much fuck you up. Like they didn't care so much. Like we actually tried to treat natives like humans and try to like build communication. Like other colonizers, other nations, they were barely even interested in trying to communicate. They were just there to loot. A lot of them. They really were. Dutch actually tried to create trade relations with locals. They just liked the trade game. I guess it was like partial grabblers. But I mean good ones. They just want to trade. And we wanted to get the locals into the trade. That they get enthusiastic for it because then it's so brilliant, right? I mean, if there's, just think of it, it's so pragmatic. There's just a bunch of ooga booga, whatever, some tribe, they don't even have clothes, but I mean, they get around, right? People are going to be like, oh, so stupid barbarian. But I mean, the Dutch knew better. They knew, man. They knew, like, yeah, their tribe, they're very different, but they know how to get around, right? They're not all sick, so they know how to fix it. We were not stupid. Yeah, we're not like short-sighted, typically. Or at least the expeditionary leaders, they really understood these things. And they knew, like, yeah, you could just like move in and just loot whatever. Kill them, loot their shit. But then the next time you come back, they got traps. They're gonna like ambush you. Right? And then before you know it, you got like a pirate colony that is just like basically trying to defend their island or whatever. Like, yeah, that's not long-term strategy. What you do is you go to them, you try to learn to do basic communication, you try to teach them very basic calculus, just very basic shit, and then you get them interested in trade. It's like, hey, see what we got here? And they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's amazing. It's like, yeah, you can buy that, but you got to give us something. And you learn the trade game. Before you know it, there's locals that are like really into it. They gather all the right goodies that we would want that you could get there, but we can't just like send a bunch of colonizers to try to mine it or whatever. And then the locals would basically, through the trade game, get all the right stuff. You come back the next year, and they got a pile of it, if you're lucky, right? And you just give them the relatively basic goods that these people think is amazing. They highly value it, and and you get everything, right? It's so basic. Like, that's what the Dutch were into a lot, and they did it around the world, and they got a lot of respect for it. Most notably to me, like Japan. Like that's a pretty amazing story because Japan had like hostile relationships with everyone. They were very hostile typically. High honor, but always very, very combative. And the Dutch were like one of the few, very, very few that kind of got to them, and then it just hit off, and they, like, we got the honor thing, and we did it right, and then they had enormous respect for the Dutch, and they're like still honoring that shit. They have like a in Japan, they have like a miniature the Netherlands, like a place where they just have windmills and dikes, just to kind of show like this is the Netherlands. This is like the Netherlands from the past. To yeah, like a reenactment, landscape reenact. It's really interesting. Like that's been there for like 30 years or something. But I mean, yeah, special. That made a big impression on me. That it made such a big impression on them, and so I always like to pull that back. Yeah, Dutch have a good nature, and we're pragmatic, and we just like to get people enthusiastic to do things that is in everybody's best interest. Yeah, which includes trade. Ah, that's how it all started. Right? I mean, from the official history books, and I don't know if that's really true, guys. I mean, I kind of doubt it, really. But supposedly, in the modern era, it is attributed to the Netherlands to have invented banking. Okay. I mean, we were really into it, though. I'm talking about like actual gold banking, gold safes, and all that before fiat era, before the dark times, before the Grabbler, right? We basically invented that early gold banking game officially, from what I've learned. And hey, I might be wrong. Maybe the history books have changed their minds. It's like, oh, how dare you? No, it was always the Jew or some, I don't know. But when I grew up, I learned the Netherlands was the one that really figured out banking. And then it spread and basically, yeah, helped to really push in the Renaissance and the creation of art and all that. And hey, maybe, but I mean, a lot of other things also happened, a lot. So, don't know if that's really us inventing banking, or rather, hey, a big reset, half the people of the world are gone, and there's a lot of places just with a lot of loot to be gained, and it's banking time. Not because we just invented it, but because suddenly there was a giant amount of spoils and resources available, and so it flows like crazy, right? That's when banking really starts to rock. So that could be it too. Because I mean, I cannot imagine, especially with the existence of Jews supposedly going thousands of years back, that real banking would only be invented like in the modern era, like a couple of hundred years ago. I refuse to believe that. With Jews existing for thousands of years, there's just no way. It's just no way. I'm not gonna believe it. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting honored through the football match, I guess. I mean, it is the football opportunity for them, but it might also have to do that there is just really internationally, it's not just the European Western countries, that typical nationalistic pride, especially associated with flags, is becoming taboo. Like they're making it taboo, even in completely different nations, from what I heard. Where it's like you're not supposed to do that because, I don't know, the UN lords over them and you're not supposed to do that according to the UN. I don't know. You're not supposed to have any pride in your own nation unless it's a big international sports game. But there's still this need. There's a need of expression, and so I've read through the comments there. There was quite a bit of comments in that video that I just played. And they're suggesting that they're doing it because they're not allowed to do their own flag, but they have a feeling like they want to. So they're basically kind of like using the Dutch, and that's funny, and hey, we absolutely allow that as Dutch, that they're using the Dutch flag in the past to kind of express their nationalism because they're not actually allowed to do that with their own flag. So they're just throwing it out through, ironically, through the former colonizer. Yeah, and hey, the relations between the Netherlands and Indonesia have not always been great. Definitely not. Like, we had issues. Seriously. I mean, Indonesia actually had issues with pretty much everybody, but also with the Dutch. And there's been some deaths and terrorism and shit. Right? And then more recently, they have become Islamic, which is another problem they have, and that's starting to come afloat more. That, yeah, they're not really, they don't really appreciate these Islamic rulers there. Also because they are, disallowing original Indonesian, what the hell do you even call it? Their original faith, their original spiritualism. Is it a religion? No, it's very tribal, but it is fascinating. Like, I've seen like some Indonesian stuff, and it is like it's from another world, man. It's really surreal, and it's hallucinogenic in a way. Like, just not that you get hallucinogens in there. No, the art, the things are hallucinogenic. Like, they're very surreal, and it's just something else. And the Islamics, they are not tolerant of that. Like, they don't allow the Indonesians to do their tradition, and I do not appreciate, like, that is a big no-no for me. Right? So they have their own struggles, and they're kind of using the football to express some suppressed nationalism. And hey, we're glad to oblige, because I think that every Dutch person typically believes in what I believe too, is in just friendship with all nations, all peoples, being proud, being strong of their own, having wisdom about their own, and just a great world of diplomacy and conflict mitigation and trade, and everybody just thrives. And because when it's like that, we know, like, yeah, least suffering, least pollution. It's very important. That's what liberals always overlook, right? They always overlook that only real peace, where everybody's pride and strong, actually leads to everything cleaning up. Because you do the cleaning up when everything else is done, right? You gotta fix your situation, make sure that nobody just dies from hunger or from lack of water or sanitation, etc. And then you like the secondary, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, the environment. Yeah, we should clean it up. You never get to that if it's just always conflict, or you can't get the basic provisions. People are starving. Like they're not interested in cleaning shit up when they can't even eat. Right? This is so rudimentary. You want to be an environmentalist? International nationalism. All the nations, good, healthy, everybody helps each other out, but only in fairness and trade. Right? No bullying around. And when you're in another nation, you gotta follow their rules. And if you don't want to follow their rules, you don't go there. And vice versa. So that's really like a Dutch vision, and I really hold on to that vision. It inspired me long ago, even as like a young teen. It was just like, yes, the idea of just like, we have ships and our tiny little, like, we have nothing. Yeah, we got a bunch of farming, we got food, we got water, we got some craft, but what we got is ships. And we're gonna trade the shit out of the place. We're gonna find a way. We're gonna find what you guys never even realized you needed. And we're gonna get you a good setup, a reasonable deal. And then we're gonna get everything. Not, but everybody, we're gonna get everything, but everybody else will be happy. Like, that's the Dutch way. Right? That's the Dutch way. And I want it back. And all this freaking UN agenda, WEF, eats the bugs. I mean, fuck all that. It's so un-Dutch. It's so disgusting. And I'm just embarrassed. Not scared, just embarrassed that our noble house has fallen into that pitiful directive. I still can't believe that they've gone there. It's so shameful, right? I can get it with like the English nobility. I understand it much better, because I mean, that's, well, first off, they're not even British really, and everybody knows that. Like, they renamed to Windsor, they're actually German nobility, so that's already kind of weird. And then, of course, the King Charles and his bragging about being a descendant from Count Dracula and all that. I mean, you kind of expect them to just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna feed on these people. But our king, I mean, yeah, there's the weird Nazi relationships. Like, ooh, granddad was kind of a Nazi. Sort of, literally. And it's kind of known. And it's like, controversy. Oh, because we're so anti that. But I mean, why? Why side with the WEF? Why side with this arrogant, patronizing, neo-feudal attitude class? Like, why? Why would you do that? It's so shameful. Everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. All the Dutch people can see it. And you're breaking their heart, man. You're breaking their hearts. They don't even want to think about it. They don't even want to think about King William. Like, you can't even say that name without some kind of like, ugh. Here, it's, what the fuck? What have you done to yourself? Why did you do this? It's such a waste. It's so stupid. Yeah, what the hell? I don't even know how they're gonna get out of this. I mean, maybe some of the daughters are kind of based, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. My dad and my mom are wrong. They're just a bunch of UN puppets. You know what? I'm bringing nationalism back. And fuck all this SJW crap. Like, bro. That could get interesting. But, I mean, are any of them gonna do that? Are they? Do they still know what's good for them? Do they even know what's real anymore at all? I don't know. It's just a pity when the Dutch people and Dutch nationalism has so much potential still for the world, enough that other nations literally just, and without organization from the Netherlands or anybody, just start to wave our flags. I mean, that's literally potential. That's potential crying out. And then we have a fucking king loser and basically a bitch queen that's a freaking foreigner that's going to then tell us how we're gonna have to live with less, and just fuck you, bitch. I mean, not a queen, not really, right? But I mean, the king himself is also just kind of useless. Doesn't take any stands. I mean, he might be just a very fearful guy at this point, where he's just trying to uphold being a king, but he's actually just continuously terrified because he realizes how fucked up the world is, and there's just nothing he can do other than just uphold the I'm the king mask. Because I don't know, I don't think they have many friends. Just a lot of like creepy UN people that, yeah, all these neo-feudalists. They surround themselves with neo-feudalists, and neo-feudalists are not good friends at all. They don't help you. Like, in a personal level, they definitely do not help you. Anyway. Hope you're all appreciating the show. Alright. A bit of Tartaria here. It's just some building, but kind of nice and up close. Let's check.
I also find it to be intriguing. Right here is the train station.
Oh,
but then look, this is another Tartarian building.
Oh God. I cannot stand it. Does that? Just why? You all saw me playing the other video, also a post from X. Why do some posts just start breaking up when I play them, and others don't? Others are just fine. It's not the length, they're all just like 1 minute or something. Just makes no sense. Anyway, here's the Tartarian building up close.
To be intriguing. Right here is the train station. But then look, this is another Tartarian building.
Epic.
Look how it goes down. And then this is the train station. Let's keep walking though. Just look at the front.
Oh my gosh, and I'm gonna send you.
Look at this building. Let's get to the front of it though. It's so majestic. Flames. Look at the entrance. Wow. This is a big, beautiful building. I wish I could really see it, but it's so beautiful.
It's just incredible.
Let's look at the front. This is a castle.
Yeah. They're all castles. All of it. And that's the whole mind-blowing thing, is like... Oh. The mind-blowing thing is that the size of all these Tartarian buildings are like excessive by any modern standards. It's like it almost doesn't make any sense. Like, it was so easy for them to just build it like just a little bit too much, so that in modern times, like, they could just never achieve that. Like, it's not cost effective. Like, people would never build anything that big because it would be excessive. Well, it seems like back then they built everything exactly like that. Excessive. Like, mind-blowing. Like, just to be a super hardcore show-off. And they did it with everything. It's just like, no, we're gonna build it so incredible. Like, 100,000 years in the future, people are still gonna be shocked how far we went with this. They might have had that in their mind. Just figured out the key. I'm just doing it super large scale. Right? And also, there might have literally been just a shit ton of excess materials. Which, I mean, technically, if you're gonna realize that giant trees were cut down, what happened to that? What happened to the tree trunks? Right? Think about it. Tree trunks, like half a mile across, or a couple of 100 meters across, like, all that material. What is even in there? I bet there's some very interesting materials in there that are usable for all kinds of chemical things, chemistry, maybe metals. Who knows, man? Or just tons and tons of layers and layers of wood. And maybe that's the reason. Maybe they just had so much materials. They were just like, we have so much materials, we have to use this. So it's just like, okay, let's fuck it. We're just gonna keep building, and everything that they didn't use, basically just turned to mountains. It's like that's the remnants of what they had left. It just kind of like sedimented, settled, and just petrified partially and turned into mountain piles. Right? So maybe that is it. Maybe a lot of that old world giant buildings, and maybe even Tartaria, that they were able to build so much and so large everywhere, is because they just had so much material everywhere. Right? Because, I mean, if you have the material basically right around the corner everywhere in giant amounts, then it's only just the working and like how big are you going to plan it that's going to be any issue. Logistics is not going to be an issue, and limited resources isn't going to be an issue. So then, yeah, why wouldn't you build excessively large? I wonder though, yeah, I mean, technically Tartaria is what came out of the classical era, which would also like include the supposed medieval era. Classical era being post-flood. The trees were cut down, lots of buildings and idols and pyramids and shit were built. They must have just had so much excess material that they just kind of like, okay, they cut down the trees, they build giant things of it, and then the rest it just kind of settles and petrifies and turns into mountains. And then later that can be mined. Like and like stone quarries and all that, right? Those could have been originally giant tree materials. They were just like excess and they couldn't do anything, so they just like left it, and then over time, a lot of time, it just kind of sediments and petrifies and turns into a mountain. Right, and in the classical era, whoever was still left started repopulating and just picking back up, refiguring out the architectural lore. And I mean, there was still tons of buildings everywhere, remnants from the Age of Wonders, Age of Cataclysm, or the Atlantean era, peak of the Age of Wonder basically. And then the flood, and then yeah, humans left, they figure it out again and they basically pick it back up. Started to build classical to neoclassical, and that then eventually peaked in Tartaria. And then it was everywhere. And that's like the era of castles and fairy tales. I mean, that's literally the era that the fairy tales are based on. And it was like that, and people were kind of weird. And you probably did have a whole bunch of kings and princesses everywhere, because everybody had everything they need pretty much. There was excess in materials, and so everybody would be like, yay, we love the king because we're all happy and we all have plenty of stuff and funny things we can do. So why would you hate the king, right? So they were all kind of popular and thrived. But yeah, after then the mud flood and the subsequent fall of Tartaria, which you could also say that the story of the Tsar in Russia with the Russian Revolution, you could argue that was actually Tartaria, that was that part of Tartaria there. It was a kingdom of Tartaria. Russia was. Them, and they just actually not very happy with us. They're not living in luxury anymore. A lot of them are hungry, a lot of them are diseased, and like, yeah, we've not really been doing too well. And then Tartaria falls. Then those kings and queens basically end their reign. And not just those kings and queens fall and end their reign, but also the entirety of Tartaria that they were a part of is completely written out of the picture. Made into a fairy tale, ridiculed, mocked by the new powers, and people that are trying to like preserve knowledge of it persecuted and institutionalized. so that the new republic had a clean slate to be indoctrinated with whatever the new powers that be wanted them to believe about the past, instead of knowing what really, how it all built up to that. Like, they took away the past from the people for pure mind control. And that is really what signifies the end of the Tartarian, or the end of the classical age, and the beginning of the Age of Illusions. The 70-76, roughly around that time. A new world being created, but also the past being forgotten. Like, the new world is just getting created from scratch, like an idea that just came to them. No, it didn't. Half the world was like that. It just crumbled and crashed, and you're rebooting it and then claiming like you're the one who invented that. And I mean, hey, I appreciate it, you know, US founding fathers. Yeah, I mean, thank you for perpetuating that very specific type of knowledge and that insight. It's great. But you didn't invent that. But that's fine, because at least it exists, okay? It's better than if it had never been done. So, and just erased with the rest of Tartaria. Well, the temperature's much nicer outside now. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you all appreciate the show. I'm kind of satisfied. Can't believe it's an hour 10 minutes already. Just, I guess I'm having fun, and the time does still fly. Nice. Oh, that's interesting. So, yeah. New Zealanders protesting against Muslims with their tribal dance. And I mean, yeah, you go, dudes. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad it's like a real thing and it's like you are allowed to do it. Like that way New Zealanders like have it like institutionalized that they can express very specific, not just sport related, national pride culturally. And that's I kind of envy them for that because it's a really good thing to have right now. And I not necessarily wanted what they got, but I'm like, yeah, good on them. They're also suggesting, somebody that posted this, that maybe Japan might do something similar, but with sumo techniques, which is like a very distinctly Japanese. That would be pretty epic too. A bunch of sumo wrestling protest march. I mean, that would be pretty epic to see that. Right, I'm gonna round out the show. It's been good, but yeah, I'm cooked. And I'm gonna just sit here silently watching a bunch of clips, seeing if I find something. I think I discussed plenty. And it's still a little hot here. Right. So thanks everyone for coming. Hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. Please also support me through the gift card, PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are on the description box below. Or send me super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live. Or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I could really use it. I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2677 on a Sunday. Hope to see you all then. Everybody have a great rest of this weekend. And until the next video, keep it flat.